This is Pokemon Crystal Clear, the best Pokemon game I've ever played. Right now, I'm in Brock's gym in Pewter City. I'm going to face him for a rematch, and I can decide how many gym badges I want to show him in terms of how difficult do I want this fight to be. So I have 8 gym badges because I just beat all the Kanto gym leaders. It goes up to 16 because Johto is an option, but I'm just going to present him with 8 badges because that's accurate to how many I have, and we'll see how tough this fight is. When I originally fought Brock, he was the first gym leader on my journey because I went through Kanto in the official traditional journey. Because this game lets you go between Johto and Kanto freely from the very beginning. You can challenge any gym in any order, you can rematch them whenever you want, and when you rematch them, you can decide how difficult you want the fight to be. Do you want to fight them as if you only had 1 gym badge? Do you want to fight them as if you had 15 gym badges? Because again, it's not just the 8 gyms in Kanto, you also got the 8 gyms in Johto. Now, normally in the official Pokemon Crystal game or in the official Johto games, you normally start in Johto, in New Bark Town. I didn't want to do that for a couple reasons I'll get into, but I chose to start my journey in Kanto because this game gives you that choice. You can literally start in any city from either Johto or Kanto. You just click. If you were to start in Goldenrod, you'd start in a random building in Goldenrod. I chose to start in Pallet Town, so I spawned in what I assumed was my bedroom. I was so wrong. I went downstairs, assuming that this was my mother, for her to then talk about how I've been a good guest, and then she challenges me to a battle. Mind you, I've just spawned in the world of Pokemon. I have a level 3 or 5 Eevee, and this person wants to battle. Let's go. Wait a minute. The battle starts, and it says, Red's mum would like to battle. That's right, it wasn't my mum all along, it was Red's mum, because I've spawned in Red's house. She did make reference to the fact that I'm a guest, so it makes sense. She also talks about how she's the mother to a champion, and that Pallet Town is home to several champions, and that I don't want to smoke. But, I mean, of course I do. I've just started this new game. Let's go. Let's run it. She one-shotted me. She one-shotted my poor Eevee. But I learned a lesson. I learned that there were obviously a lot of big boss fights in this game that you were going to have to work your way up to. Red's mum is just one example. Go to New Bark Town, you can fight Gold's mum. And you could probably fight other people's mum. I don't know. That's the point. There's so much out there to explore. You need to understand that experience I had where I spawned in Pallet Town and I went to see Red's mum. There are so many people that would play this game that would never even see that encounter. Think about it. Why would you go to Pallet Town? If you chose to start in Johto, you could start anywhere. You don't have to. Why would you go to the beginning town? You know? I mean, you probably would eventually if you really, really like this game. But you might miss it. You have no real reason to go to Pallet Town. You can do all the gym leaders in all the other cities. So there are definitely people who just did not experience what I experienced. And that means that every single person who plays this game is going to have a unique experience. When the game starts, you get given the choice between 16 different starters. I chose to go with Eevee, but you can pick between the 3 Kanto starters, the 3 Johto starters, and 10 other Pokemon that you can pick. But I'd never raised the Eevee up, so I picked a Eevee. You also get to customize your character, and I think it's even better than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Hear me out. This is a Game Boy Color game, and yet you're able to really go real far, I think, with the changing. I mean, technically, you're just changing the color of a sprite. So if you look at my sprite, that's just red. But I've changed his colors so much that, I mean, he looks just like me. And talk about immersion. This game really has a homemade, yet super professional feel. The game feels nostalgic and fun to play. I mean, I love me some Gen 1, Gen 2 graphics. And this game, I love the look of it. You know, I wasn't the biggest fan of the way Pokemon Crystal looked when I tried to play it as a kid. So I do think this game's a bit updated in terms of its sprites and everything. But I love the presentation here. You have a Pokegear. The game is still a new game, even if it's built on the Game Boy Color, if that makes sense. So it's very fun to play. Very, very fun to play. And now that I've unlocked Fly, I'm going and re-challenging in order all of the Kanto gyms before I take on the Elite Four. Now, why did I choose to start in Kanto? I'm going to explain that. But let me just finish talking about sort of the premise to this game. You make your own custom character. Your Pokemon follow you. Something we got in Pokemon Heart Gold. And here we have it in the official original crystal. And you can see how beautiful my Eevee looks following behind me. You can pick between all the starter Pokemon I mentioned. But the main selling point of this game, Pokemon Crystal Clear, is that it's an open world version of Pokemon Crystal. So you can truly explore Kanto and Johto to your heart's desire. You can challenge the gyms in any order. So instead of starting with Brock or whoever you start with in Johto, you can fight Lieutenant Surge first. Then you can go and fight Blue in Viridian City. And then you can go for your third gym badge to Johto and fight Faulkner. And then do a couple Johto gym badges before coming back to Kanto. You want to defeat all 8 Kanto gym leaders, but before you defeat the Elite Four, you want to then go and defeat all 8 Johto gym leaders? You can do that. Or do you want to only defeat the Kanto side? You can do that. Then you can go straight. All you need is 8 gym badges to go to the Elite Four and to go to the Pokemon League. It doesn't matter if you got 4 in Johto and 4 in Kanto. This game lets you progress that way. And having that much choice, I mean, no official Pokemon game has given us that much choice. I know in Scarlet and Violet, you technically can, fight the gyms in any order. But because the gyms don't scale, you kind of have to fight them in the same order as everyone else unless you want to have a weird difficulty curve. In this game, the gym leaders scale to how many badges you have. So it makes sense and it's realistic to the lore of the Pokemon world. If you show Brock that you have 10 badges, he's gonna, go real hard on you. If you come to Lieutenant Surge and you have 15 gym badges, he's gonna have a Zapdos on his team. But if you fight him and you show him 1 gym badge, then he'll only have a level 10 Raichu. So it really depends on, your experience. Now, the first time you fight a gym leader, you don't get to decide how many gym badges you show them. It's only when it's a rematch and you can choose the difficulty. When you fight them the first time, no matter the order, their Pokemon will be the right level for you in terms of difficulty. This game isn't a difficulty hack. It isn't mad difficult, but it also isn't easy. It's definitely harder than a normal Pokemon game, but it's the right level of difficulty in my opinion. The hardest fight, I've had a couple hard fights. And like I said, there are boss fights. Like Red's mom obviously destroyed me. She has level 70 Pokemon. So she's a post-game fight. So that's not really about difficulty, The main story, if there is one in this game, is the gym challenge. And I'm so fine with that. It's like Pokemon Sword and Shield. The main focus in that game was the gym challenge. And the evil team was basically not even evil in that game. And the legendary plot, whatever you want to call it, it was just rushed at the end. The main story to Sword and Shield was the gym challenge. And I love that. The team, whatever stuff, is always of lesser interest to me personally. This game does a good job at focusing on what matters, and that's the gym challenge. Or maybe you want to go catch them all. I mean, this game, some people complain because there's no credits. There's no moment where you beat the game and then the credits roll. But that's realistic. This is the world of Pokemon, not the game of Pokemon. The credits roll when you want them to roll. What is your objective? You get to choose. Do you want to become the champion of Kanto? Do that. Do you want to become the champion of Johto? Do that. Do you want to become the champion of both? Do that. Do you want to just defeat gym leaders and not go to the Pokemon League? You can do that. Do you want to catch them all? This game has all Pokemon up to Gen 2, so there's about 251 Pokemon, whatever it is. You can catch them all. I'm sure you can shiny hunt in this game. I don't think there's any Pokemon game you can't shiny hunt in. Maybe you want to shiny hunt. Maybe you just want to catch them all, complete a Pokédex, something I've never done. Maybe you want to do that. Maybe you want to just challenge every trainer in the game, And there are a lot of hidden areas. There are new areas added to the maps. And there are new boss fights, I guess you could say. One of my favorite things about this game is that as soon as you start the game, if you want to go to the mountain and challenge Red, you can do it. You don't need to beat the game, to my knowledge. I could be wrong on that. I haven't actually gone checking. But my understanding is that if I go to that mountain right now, Red will be there. And I can fight him with my level 10 Pokemon. He will still have level 70 whatever plus. So it's like Breath of the Wild. My understanding is that in that game, you can go and challenge the final boss from the beginning of the game, but you will get destroyed unless you level up, which is why you play the game. So this is that. And I love games like that. Static encounters that their level doesn't change. You need to just get on their level. Or if you're sick enough, you can beat them on your low level. Gym leaders are different. I prefer them to scale, so it makes sense. When you go to them, they're the right difficulty. But let's have boss fights that just don't change. All the legendary Pokemon from Gen 1 and 2 are out there somewhere to be caught. Maybe that's your objective, is to catch all the legendary Pokemon, which would be Suicune, Lugia, Ho-Oh, Mewtwo, Mew. They're all out there. So that could be your goal. I mean, me personally, my goal is to do all of those things. I want to try my best to damn near 100% this game because, like I said, this is my favorite Pokemon game. Maybe I didn't say that yet. Let me be clear. This is my favorite Pokemon game. I've played many of them. I played all of them. And this is my favorite. I've just been having so much fun. Never would have thought a Game Boy Color Pokemon Crystal game would be my favorite. And I've waited a while before I mentioned this so I didn't lose people earlier in the video, but I don't like Johto games. I never did. I tried to play Pokemon Crystal as a kid. After I'd played Sinnoh and Kanto, I tried to play Johto, and I didn't like the starter Pokemon. I still don't. I'm sorry. I'm not a Cyndaquil fan. I'm not a Totodile fan. And what even is Chikorita now? I understand that those are some people's favorite Pokemon. It's just my personal opinion. I just don't like their designs or their whatever. You feel me? And if I don't like the starters, then it's kind of a big red flag for the entire region at large. I also just didn't like the early game when it came to the Johto games, because not only did I give Pokemon Crystal a go, I bought Pokemon Heart Gold and I gave that a go too. And my complaints were consistent for both games. Don't like the starter Pokemon, don't like the early game, don't like most of the Pokemon, especially early on in the game. And if I don't like most of the Pokemon in the beginning of the Johto region, the game's called Pokemon. If I don't like the Pokemon, then why am I playing the game called Pokemon? It doesn't make sense. I just come from loving all the Pokemon in Sinnoh and loving all the Pokemon in Kanto and loving every part of the game in terms of story. So Johto, it was a letdown for me, personally. I didn't enjoy Crystal the first time I played it, and I didn't like Heart Gold the first time I played it. But I should note that I was a child when I played both those games, and now I am a man. So I'm willing to give them a go, but this game, Pokemon Crystal Clear, it literally fixes all the issues I had with the Johto region originally. And because of that, I'm finally super excited to explore the Johto region. Even though I owned Heart Gold and Crystal, I don't think I even got a single gym badge. I just got bored. But now, I can't wait to become Johto champion. I can't wait. I'm so glad Pokemon follow you in this game like Heart Gold. Otherwise, I'd be like, should I play Heart Gold? I already gave it a go. And like I said, don't like the starters. But in this game, you get the choice between 16 different starters. So I picked a Eevee. And I'm happy. Oh, but you don't like the early Johto Pokemon? No problem. I started this game in Kanto. That's one of the reasons why. I have a full team of mostly Kanto Pokemon, and I can take those with me to Johto. I need not catch a single Johto Pokemon because I have my beloved 151 in Kanto. That's a huge W for me, and it fixes like my biggest issue with Pokemon. If I could play Heart Gold with my Sinnoh Pokemon, I would have loved to have done that. I didn't have the resources to have done that, but that would have fixed my issues. But this game, it fixes that issue. I don't have to use Johto Pokemon that I don't want to use because I can start in Kanto and catch all my Pokemon there. It makes sense to do Kanto first as well because Kanto is first, and I'm kind of doing the Heart Gold thing, but in reverse, since normally in that game you do Johto and then Kanto as post-game. Also, I'm rewatching the Pokemon anime from the very beginning, which means that Ash is going through Kanto. So it just makes sense. I'm watching the first season of the anime, which is in Kanto. I'm playing Pokemon Radical Red right now, which is in Kanto. I'm also playing Fire Red Team Rocket Edition, which is a game set in Kanto. So let's get Kanto out my system. And on top of all that Kanto, I'm playing this game as my third Kanto game right now and just get Kanto out my system. Once I've beaten all my Kanto games, I can move on to Johto. But as it stands right now, this is the only Johto game I have much interest in playing. This and Pokemon Battle Stadium 2, which is a Gen 2 Johto-esque game because you do fight all the Johto gym leaders in that game. And then you fight the Kanto ones, so I'm going to do that again. But, yeah. Sorry, Heart Gold lovers. I know people say Heart Gold and Soul Silver are like the best Pokemon games ever made. But most people say that in reference to once you've beaten the game, it becomes the best game ever because of the post-game, because of the extra content. And it's like, why do I have to see the credits roll for this game to get good? I'm sorry, I don't want to hate on Heart Gold. I know people love it, but I just, even though I love Gen 4, I love Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, I just couldn't get into Johto. I don't like the starters, personally, and I don't like the early game. I don't like the early Pokemon. That's enough to, like, I haven't been able to force myself through it, even though I know potentially the other side could be worth it. Hey, I'm playing Pokemon Crystal at the end of the day, just because this lets me make my own character, just because this game lets me buy houses from Randy Savage across Johto and Kanto. It's still Pokemon Crystal. It's still the Johto we know and love. And I'm going to experience it in a way that I think is better for me, you know? It's important to note that this game, the reason why it works as an open world game is because they've essentially removed the entire storyline, so there's no Team Rocket. But it makes sense in the story of this game, because some people say there's no story. There is a story. The story is that this Crystal Clear game takes place several years after Team Rocket has been disbanded and destroyed by Red and Blue. Blue is now the Viridian City gym leader. Red is out there somewhere. Gold is also out there, and you actually can fight Gold because you're not Gold, you're you. And that's what I mean when I say this game feels so immersive, because in Heart Gold you play as that sprite is not me. You know, it represents me, but it's not me. I feel like ever since Pokemon introduced character customization, it's actually very hard for me to go back, because the whole point is that it's your journey. So I really think Pokemon is an RPG that really, really lends itself to character customization. And it was always fine playing as the characters before, but I don't know, playing this game, I just love looking at my sprite. It really makes it feel like it's me. Come on, man, it's a black boy sprite. Like, I feel so immersed. Like, it would have been crazy to have played a video game as a kid that was built in with a black character. But thanks to technology, I can be that in this game. I can really feel like it's me talking to my Espeon. And yeah, between that and the fact that you can buy all this real estate, I don't know why Randy Savage is the one who sells you the house, but that's just a funny joke, I guess. But there's all these properties across Kanto and Johto that cost a lot of money. And that could be your objective. Talk about what's my objective in this game. I also want to just buy all the real estate, especially the nice ones. I'm sure there are some mansions. I already got a penthouse. Like, that's a whole another system. It reminds me of Grand Theft Auto, but yeah, you can literally save up and buy property in this game. You could just buy a bunch of houses across, and like flats and apartments across Kanto and Johto. And you can customize the interior as well. So you can buy furniture and stuff. Like, bro, I know there's so much more content in this game that I'm just forgetting and I'm not able to kind of cover. I do want to tell one story about my Eevee, who you can see at this point is an Espeon. You see, when I got Eevee, my initial goal was to evolve it into a Jolteon, having never raised up an Eevee. But I ended up getting given a Jolteon by like an NPC, or maybe I caught one, I forget. But like, I ended up getting a Jolteon anyway. So I had my Eevee starter, and I was like, okay, so what to do with you? I guess my next favorite evolution is probably Espeon, right? But I was struggling to get Eevee to evolve. You see, to get Eevee to evolve into an Espeon, it needs to be your best friend. And to get it to be your best friend, look at this page. Look at how beautiful that looks. Sorry, just distracted by my gameplay, but it just looks amazing seeing the gym badges spin and seeing the gym leader's face. It's so crazy to me because this is a Game Boy Color game, and look how amazing your ID card looks. You have all the different gym leaders' faces and the spinning badges, and it's 3D. This is a Game Boy Color game. Why do the Game Boy Advance games have ID badges that look like this and this and this? Like, bruh, I don't get it. Why is the game on the older console? That's what I mean when I say Crystal Clear. It's just my favorite, bruh. But sorry. Back to my Eevee. I was walking around with my Eevee everywhere. That's supposed to help it become your best friend. It wasn't evolving into an Espeon. Come to find out, it was holding an Everstone, something I'd never heard of. An Everstone is an item that prevents a Pokemon from evolving. So when I got my Eevee starter, it just came with that for some reason. So that was what was stopping it from evolving. As soon as I took it off, my Eevee began to evolve finally into an Umbreon, which is not what I wanted, but it was nighttime when I was playing, so I had to change the time on my phone to daytime, stop the evolution, and then try again, after my next battle. Then my Eevee finally evolved into an Espeon. You see, I took my Eevee to fight Sabrina, one of the gym leaders who uses a psychic Pokemon. Specifically, she uses an Espeon, and her Espeon kept one-shotting my Pokemon. I tried to beat her like 11 times. When I say that she was the hardest fight that I've had so far in this game in terms of gym leaders, because again, Red's mum. And there's one DJ in Lavender Town who was just ridiculously difficult to beat. There are some new sort of NPCs added to this game. It's fun. Like, my understanding is that the Elite Four and the Champion are a bit different in this game. Anyway, yeah, Sabrina kept one-shotting my Pokemon with her Espeon, so it felt so good when my Eevee finally became an Espeon, and it was faster than hers, and I could one-shot her team. In fact, you've probably seen throughout this video that I've been able to use the same Espeon to one-shot, like, most Pokemon. Psychic Pokemon are so OP in this game. But this is my starter, and we've been through so much, and yeah, what can I say? I love having OP Pokemon. I'm having a lot of fun playing the way that I'm playing, so don't judge me. Just play however you have fun playing. You have a bank account in this game, your money can be automatically deposited. You can see me withdrawing money so I can go ahead and get my first apartment, because that's actually why I decided to re-challenge all the gym leaders. When I realized that you got paid 4K a fight, bruh, finally found a way to make some money so I could buy my first apartment, because it's insane that I have 8 gym badges, I'm a champion level trainer, and I don't have a crib. So I saved up my money, and you guys will see where exactly I decided to go and buy my first apartment. But yeah, I've been working hard. That's why I'm re-challenging the gyms, is to just get that bread. And that's really what I mean when I say that this game, you choose your objective. Do you want to be the very best that no one ever was? Do you want to just own all the real estate? Do you want to catch them all? Do you want to catch the shinies? Do you want to just beat all the big, difficult boss fights? Whatever you want to do, you can do, man. Some people just lack imagination. They need to be handheld. They need credits to roll to let them know that they did a good job. When I'm in the Hall of Fame, I'll know that I've done a good job, but there's still more work to do. When I've defeated Red's mum, I'll know that I'm really that guy, you know? When I defeat Red, I've already defeated Gold. But when I defeat, I'm sure there are other characters. I'm sure Gold's female counterpart is in this game. What's her name? Lyra. I'm sure she's somewhere out there. Like I said, the Elite Four and Champion are new characters, but that's going to be super fun and challenging. The guy who created this game is post-game. He's out there somewhere. Once you become champion, you can fight him. You maybe need to become champion before you fight Red. But in general, I love that in this game, there's an opportunity for you to fight all of the Kanto Johto characters. I'm sure Lance is out there somewhere. I'm sure Red, I know Red is out there somewhere, obviously. I know Blue is at his gym in Viridian City. At any point, I can go to the mountain and fight Red. I can go to the cave and encounter Mewtwo. I can go to Blue and challenge his gym. I can go... I love that, you know? And as you explore, like another cool thing, when you're in Kanto, Johto gym leaders will randomly pull up on you for battle. When you're in Johto, you'll randomly bump into a Kanto gym leader and they'll challenge you there. If you haven't been to their gym yet, they'll invite you. Or if you have, they might say, hey, let's have another match one day. Come to my gym again. It's just great. The world feels alive. There's so much to do. I've already been playing the game for so long, and there's still so much left to do. It's my favorite Pokemon game by far, and I highly recommend it, with amazing character customization, a really nostalgic feel. It's a light game. Whatever phone you have, you can get this game on. You know, it's just amazing. It's an amazing time, and it has a great... Listen to this song for the opening cinematic to this game. It's just so incredible. It already feels so nostalgic for me. So all in all, yeah, you can see me here just having bought my house from Randy Savage. So let's go inside. I decided to get it in Saffron City. Saffron City, you know, is based on Tokyo, you know. Kanto is based on Kanto in Japan. Saffron City is Tokyo. So it makes sense for me to get my first apartment, my penthouse in the capital city, doing a little tour. You see, I got a PC so I can move. I don't need to go to a Pokemon Center anymore. I can do all my moving of my Pokemon and my monies all from the comfort of the computer in my office at home. And look, you have furniture that you can like decorate your apartment with, though I do need to buy more, I guess. But like, look, you can decorate your yard. I got my bed, you can sleep in it and heal up your Pokemon. It's an amazing, it's a great time to be alive, man. Let's go upstairs. Here's the penthouse view, the living room. I got all my bud. I got all my bud plants, and yeah, what's Espeon? Espeon wants to go back outside. Okay, Espeon doesn't seem to like the yard, but look at that view, man. Look at all these windows. Got a great view of Tokyo. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know. I do want to change the nickname to my Espeon to Mob. I wish I already did that, but I have not yet done that. But all the more reason to explore and find out wherever I can nickname my Pokemon. Got a nice town map, and yeah, man, this game, incredible. I think if you've played through Kanto's story before, then this is the best way to replay Kanto. even if you've never played through. The only thing is this might be tough for someone who's never played a Pokemon game before because it doesn't explain anything. There's no hand-holding. You are supposed to know what to do. The only thing this game does is every time you beat a gym, the Pokemon League calls you to congratulate you, which helps remind you that that is technically the one objective that you have by default. But again, you don't have to beat the gyms, but if you do decide to, then yeah, they'll call you, congratulate you, and they'll usually give you a hint as to somewhere cool you can go explore. So, whenever I beat the 8th Kanto gym, I was told to go visit Professor Elm in Johto. So the game will give you a heads up as to where somewhere cool you can explore. This is the freaking DJ. This guy whooped my booty last time I tried to fight him, so I'm going to rematch him now, and you'll see how it goes, because I'm obviously, very strong now, can't lie. Also, I kept showing the gym badges that I only had a 8 gym badge. Technically, if you pick set 8 for a gym battle, you're kind of saying that you're looking for your 8th badge. So I'm not sure if I did it yet in the video, but at some point it was too easy, so I changed it up to set 9, which means I have 8 gym badges. Fight me as if I was looking for my 9th. But because it's a rematch, they're not going to give me my 9th. I need to go to Johto to get my next 8 gem badges, and including my 9th. But anyway, yeah, this freaking DJ, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. I'm guessing he's maybe someone who helped compose music for this game, or he's someone the developers know. The developers of this game, rightfully so, have put themselves in the game as Easter eggs. I believe that the Elite Four, I don't know yet because I haven't gone there yet, but I believe the Elite Four are the developers. I'm not sure who the champion is, but I do know that you can fight the guy who created this game as a post-game fight somewhere out there in a cave or something. And it's a tough fight, but that's the fun of it. Who doesn't like a good challenge? This game's incredible. Look how beautiful the Pokemon look. They move. That's like a shiny Espeon, I guess, but look, the Pokemon move. The colors are amazing. Yeah, it's a Game Boy Color game, and it just looks amazing. It feels amazing. It's you feel something when you play this game, man. You feel something. This is my HM slave, Kenya, that lets me fly across the nation. Yeah, hate that bird. But yeah, man, I can't recommend this game enough. I played Pokemon Diamond and Pearl first as a kid, and I absolutely loved it. I then went on to play Fire Red, and I absolutely loved it. I gave the Johto games a chance. I played Crystal, I played Gold, I played Heart Gold, and I just didn't like the actual Pokemon. But this game fixes that issue because I can just go Kanto first. And Johto is all about exploration. Fair enough, you're losing the Team Rocket storyline if you play this game, but let's not act like the Team Rocket storyline in the Johto games are even that great. I do think the Team Rocket storyline in the Kanto games are good and worth playing through, but it's definitely skippable unless we're talking Team Rocket Fire Red Edition. But other than that, it's definitely skippable. The Johto games, the Team Rocket stuff was never the focus. The focus was you, your Pokemon, the gym challenge, and exploring. The Johto games are all about exploring with nothing but you and your Pokemon, and this game captures that theme perfectly. I think this game captures the theme of Pokemon Crystal perfectly. It's just you out with your Pokemon, and the fact that they follow you in this game but not in Crystal, that's just such a huge W. Character customization, bro. You got to play this game. I can't wait to explore Johto. I've never felt so immersed. Look at my badges. Look at my monies. I've never felt more like this is actually me on a journey, It's never felt more that way. I mean, just look at that. I had to slow it down so you can really appreciate my badges spinning. So good. So good. This is my team. I haven't really spoken about them so far, but you get the gist. I don't even know. I need to double check. Are any of those Johto Pokemon? Look, it's not like I hate every single Johto Pokemon. I just didn't like the ones that I came across in my first playthroughs of Crystal and Gold. What else is there to say? I do need to keep talking because I'm only at Blaine's gym, so I can probably do some more commentary. But this game is 10 out of 10. I would like to compare it to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because that game is also open world. That is, I guess you could say the first real open world Pokemon game, but this game's also open world. Which game does it better? I think this game's open world is much better than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's. Hear me out. One, this is subjective, but I think it is better for the gyms to scale to your level. Some say, but it makes the game nice and difficult. If I go to a gym leader who's just too strong for me, then that's the challenge. But you're probably just not going to beat them. So you end up going to someone else, which means everyone ends up doing the same order. it's way more realistic that you show a gym leader how many badges you have, and then they decide how hard the fight will be, rather than they just go all out no matter what, or they just go easy on you no matter what. That doesn't make as much sense. So I definitely have to give the point to Crystal Clear. I think gyms should scale to your level, but there should, in both games, which there is, also be static encounters where the levels just don't change. As far as the actual region in question, I think Johto Kanto is better than Paldea. Paldea is not that great. You can't go inside any buildings, whereas in Crystal Clear you can go inside every building. You can't customize your character that well in Scarlet and Violet, to the point where I actually think it's betterly done in Crystal Clear. And there's more to do in Crystal Clear in exploration-wise. You know, in Crystal Clear, the Johto Kanto map is classic. There's so much to explore and discover. Plus, this version of the game specifically adds new caves and dungeons and places to explore and Pokemon to discover. There's a lot in this game that I don't even know about yet. There's just a lot out there to explore. This game fully rewards exploration. Go out and get lost. I get lost all the time. And it's a big map because this isn't... How could I almost forget? I'm so glad I remembered. In the official Johto games like Heart Gold and Crystal, the Kanto that they give you is much smaller than the real Kanto. I understand why. In the Johto games, Johto is the main focus. They just add the Kanto map because they can. But they can't add the full map for memory reasons. It's already 2 maps of a game, so they make the second map smaller. That's why the Viridian Forest in Kanto has been quote-unquote cut down by the time you get to the Johto games. And that's why there's no Viridian Forest area. The Cinnabar Islands, the volcano blew up, it destroyed the islands. In reality, there's no memory space to bring the islands back. So in the Johto games, Blaine is just in a cave in the Crystal game. And then in Heart Gold, he does have a gym, but still, the island had been messed up. Well, in Crystal Clear, there is new Cinnabar Island, so he does have a new island and he does have a new gym because time has passed, and there's actually lore as to how Blaine himself created the new Cinnabar Island, wherein he used his magma to melt a bunch of lava from the volcano and then he made a new island. I forget exactly, but it's very cool because they do take the time to explain this stuff, and that's more or less what it was. And I say that to say that in this game, the Kanto map that you get is full. There's a full Cinnabar Island. There's a full Viridian Forest, is grown back, I guess. And there's even extra areas to explore. It's not a small Kanto. It's the full Kanto map, plus the full Johto map. In the official Pokemon Crystal game, Kanto has been made smaller. In Heart Gold, Kanto had been made smaller. In this game, you get the true Kanto. So when I say that it's a massive world to explore, it's a big map. You know, you need to fly from location to location. I can't imagine walking all the way across Johto and Kanto. It's a big map. So a lot to explore, a lot to discover. And I'm a long way away from... I truly think this is a game that you could easily put 100 hours into. Maybe I am wrong, but you could definitely, I think, put 50 to 100 hours in this game without even having to do the crazy shiny hunting and stuff. But that definitely adds. So this is just incredible. I mean... Shout out the developers. They killed it. This is my favorite Pokemon game. This is everything I want, really, out of a Pokemon game. Good character customization, because I just love it now. I used to not care about character customization, but I can't lie. When I used to play Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, I used to hate that my character was wearing the stupid hat and I couldn't take it off. So I've always wanted it. But yeah, man, give me good character customization, like in Crystal Clear. Give me an open world with gyms that scale, like in Crystal Clear. Let me rematch the gym leaders, which you can do at any point in this game. Once you beat a gym leader, you can rematch them. In any official Pokemon game, you have to defeat all of them before you can rematch. That's lame. That would be so lame in this game if I had to defeat all 16 gyms before I could rematch any of them. No, as soon as you beat Brock, you can rematch Brock. And if that makes so much more sense than anything else. So give me that. Give me the rematches. Give me new interesting things to go out and explore. Give me static boss fights. Give me trainers who are just always level 70 and I need to just get on their level. Give me, a good difficulty curve like in this game. Give me great Pokemon to go and discover. I mean, this game, I'm going through Kanto, so it has the 151 and I love it. And it has the 151 from the start, unlike in Heart Gold and Soul Silver where you have to, beat Johto first. I love that I could beat Kanto first, and I can't wait to go I can't wait to go to Johto. That will be my next video. But in this one, you guys have seen me. He just said that the battle brought tears to his eyes. You've just seen me go through all of, basically like a speed run of all the gyms in Johto. I mean, sorry. You just saw me do a speed run, basically, of all the gyms in Kanto, and it was incredible. I'm going to let my Pokemon rest up. I hope I've convinced you guys as to why Pokemon Crystal Clear is the best Pokemon game, all right? At the very least, why it's better than Scarlet and Violet, in my opinion. You know, the game's obviously nowhere near as buggy and glitchy as Scarlet and Violet was. I'm going back to my home now in Tokyo, in Saffron City, back to my brand new penthouse to rest after all of that, you know, money made and gym challenges done. And next is the Elite Four, which I'll do a video on. Give this one a thumbs up. Yeah, this is my crib. You know, we lit. This game's awesome, man. This game's awesome. Shout out Kanto. I love Kanto. On to the Elite Four. Peace. So I did have a few more things I wanted to add on. First of all, in Crystal Clear, a lot of the NPCs are actually, let's say, they have different skin colors, which I know Kanto is based on Japan. There probably aren't that many black people, but there are some. In the original game, absolutely none were present. But in Crystal Clear, they interestingly actually have a lot of the NPCs and the trainers you fight have varying skin tones, which is that's something that's happening in the new Pokemon games, but not in the old ones. So it's a very nice touch. It's something they didn't need to do in Crystal Clear, but I have noticed it. I do appreciate it. But there are black people in Kanto. Hey, I'm sure we go visit Japan. I'd love to. So it's really cool. For example, here you see Suma Diana in Pokemon Heart Gold. You know, she looks like that. Whereas in Crystal Clear, it's the same NPC, it's the same trainer, but they look completely different. Black with the green hair is very cool. Or maybe Asian, I don't know. But there's some kind of, you know, ethnic something, and it spices the game up. It keeps it interesting, at least in my opinion. And it's not a big deal, but it's a nice touch. I appreciate it. And it makes it a bit more realistic. It makes the game a bit more fun. Not everyone, you know, is in a big city or in a big place is going to look the exact same, you know. So it is very cool. You can see the Pokemon are still the exact same. So every trainer has the same Pokemon in both Heart Gold and Crystal Clear. So why would I play Crystal, or why would I play Heart Gold? I can't lie. The only reason that the Pokemon levels are different is because when this person is playing Pokemon Heart Gold, this is likely like their 10th badge or 11th badge, whereas for me, Sabrina I hadn't even had 8 badges yet. So it's just, you know, like I said, it depends on how many badges you show. But yeah, that's just one more thing I wanted to touch on. Plus, I think Sabrina's sprite looks way better in Crystal Clear than it does in Heart Gold. That's just my personal subjective opinion, but I really do think I prefer a lot of the Crystal Clear sprites as opposed to the Heart Gold sprites, you know? Lieutenant Surge looks cool in both, but like Sabrina, I think looks much cooler in the Crystal Clear version. I think it's cool to have all these, you know, different NPCs, but all the Pokemon are still the same. The levels, difficulty would roughly be the same depending on where you're at. And yeah, I also realized that I did miss my fight with Sabrina somehow. I completely skipped that in the video, so went back, doubled back, and had a quick rematch with. Yeah, man. Great game. Now, I'm just going to leave you guys with the intro to the game because the music is incredible. And shout out Delta, it's the emulator I used to play this. If you see my time on my save file is inaccurate because I fast forward and I use save states, which you'll see. If you know about emulation, you know. Shout out Delta, that's where you want to go. They let you customize the artwork. Shout out the artist who did the artwork for my Crystal Clear cover that you'll see. I mean, I just found it on Google and put it on the file because I thought it looked cool. And yeah, that's just some Crystal fan-made artwork. Anyway, love you guys. Peace.